Today on the Cinefanatics, we have ourselves a movie review for you, mates.
If you can smell what we're cooking.
What's going on, guys? We're the Cinefanatics. My name is Chris Adams.
And I'm Robert Adams.
Definitely not Jason Statham or Dwayne Johnson.
Wait, I'm not?
Oh, God, farthest thing from. So, briefly, noting that if you're trying to do a Jason Statham impression, probably not the best idea to go for an SNL Chris Pratt version.
Yeah.
Yes, he did an impression of Jason Statham pitching Jason Stathams on SNL. That's beside the point.
I thought you sounded more like the Crocodile Hunter.
Yeah, I can't get my Statham apart from Australian accents, apparently.
Yeah.
Anyway, so we're bringing you a movie review. It is Hobbs and Shaw. The Fast and Furious present Hobbs and Shaw.
I don't know how much the Fast and the Furious are actually presenting this, because it sounds like almost everybody else is kind of not liking the idea that this movie exists.
I don't know. I mean, here's the thing. There's cars in it.
Yeah, there's some cars in it, but the idea behind the Fast and the Furious franchise is, of course, that they're all one big giant
family.
And now here we've got a spin-off movie that both Dwayne Johnson and Jason Statham are okay breaking away from the
Family.
to go and make their own movie.
Yeah.
So, yeah, they're not... The rest of the Fast and the Furious cast, especially Tyrese, have been very vocal about their dislike that this movie exists.
Here's the thing. Like, all the behind-the-scenes aside, like, just get used to the idea that these two are, major stars who can carry their own franchise.
Yeah.
Yeah, the characters are the same from the Fast and Furious movies. Aside from the fact that we still, I don't think, have enough justification for wanting to follow Deckard Shaw after he killed Han.
Yeah, I mean, I don't get why?
They need to give us, some kind of, sub scene at some point where somebody else kills Han and he just happened to be there.
Yeah, except I think we've already seen, pretty clear that it was him.
Yeah, but good writers can really retcon all
Time
that.
travel. Go for it.
I mean, at this point, they might as well. Space and time travel. So
That'd be funny if they cross paths with, the Avengers and...
why not? Just throw the whole kitchen sink in there.
Back to the Future was a bunch of...
Hey, so basically, this movie is a ton of fun. It knows what it is, and that's my main point that I want to drive home here. This movie knows exactly what it is. It's a stupid, dumb, blockbuster entertainment ride, fun, all of that.
They're called popcorn flicks.
Yes, exactly. I was just trying to throw more words onto it. But yeah, no, it knows exactly what it is. It's one of those movies. You're going into it knowing it's going to be dumb, but you're going to have fun with it.
The writing is kind of... okay.
It's what it is.
The characters are good. The humor is fantastic.
Oh, yeah. And I think, to touch on that, that is the driving force of this movie. It is Dwayne Johnson and Jason Statham just playing off of each other the entire time. If that doesn't work, the movie doesn't work.
Yeah. Both of them are known for being action stars, for bashing fists into things and throwing people around and kicking and whatever. So they're known for this, but they're also known for some pretty good witty banter, especially with each other.
I see what you're doing. You think I'm stupid?
Of course I think you're stupid.
Mm-hmm. And yeah, that definitely plays off. There's a couple other stuff that they've added in. It's known that there are some really good cameos in this movie that also really help with the humor and moving the story along. So yeah, that was very key for this movie, and I very much enjoyed the comedy of it.
Yeah, we're not really going to do any spoilers on this, so we're not going to touch on exactly who the cameos are. They were just great. They were fantastic, especially a couple of the ones that kind of initiated the action. If you know who the director of this movie is, it's kind of funny that those two were the ones who kind of initiated all the action.
Mm-hmm.
I'd love to see this connect with that other
property.
Yeah. Later on, that'd be hilarious if it did. But yeah, aside from that, stay after the credits. There's a bunch of end credit scenes you want to catch on to if you want to follow this franchise going forward, including future plot points and stuff. But as far as the cast of this movie goes, Dwayne Johnson, Jason Statham, they're doing the roles that you've seen them play, and they do well at it. So they come in, do their job. Their job is done excellently, makes us laugh, has fun with it. But I wanted to touch on the other big two in this movie, Vanessa Kirby as Shaw's sister, and
Idris
Elba as Brixton.
So Vanessa Kirby, the first thing I like to point out, and I thought that was funny, is that we get like the flashbacks in this movie of them as kids, and there's like a 20-year age difference between the two actors
in real life.
in real life.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay. So here's another thing. With,
Helen Mirren had a very long and productive career as a mother.
So here's the thing. Again, I'm not really wanting to touch on spoilers, but time is not something that this movie...
It's not on their side.
They don't like
No, it isn't.
Time at all. Which, I mean, we could touch on a little bit more in a little bit, but so that was funny. But I actually think in real life, she actually probably could be his sister. And the way they talked, they acted, their interaction between her and Jason Statham, it seemed like they were siblings.
Yeah, it worked very well. They played off each other as siblings pretty well. So I think the other aspect of her is that she fit in right along with both of them. She was kicking butt and taking names just the same as the two of them were. Mm-hmm. So I mean, she was actually a perfect fit, perfect quote unquote third wheel to the two of them. She was excellent in that role.
And her interactions with The Rock as well, Dwayne Johnson. Her interactions with Dwayne Johnson, yes.
I can't do it either.
Yeah. Were also really good. Some of those were some really good like scenes. When they first meet and fight and whatnot, that was some pretty good banter that they had going on there.
Yeah. Now, on the other end, you have Idris Elba as Brixton. Here's the thing. Idris Elba I take very seriously as an actor, but this movie is the type of movie that I believe he got the script, looked at it and said, "Oh, this is gonna be fun. Yeah, I'm into this."
I'm pretty sure he only read the line, "I'm Black Superman," and he's like,
"Sure,
signing on the line for this one. This one's gonna be fantastic."
Sold. Yeah, you can tell like his character is very one note in the plot and what he's trying to accomplish and do. Mm-hmm. Bad guy doing the bad guy things. You even see in the trailer.
He even said that.
Who are you?
Bad guy.
Yeah, you have that even in the trailer. So that's who the character is. Now you have someone like Idris Elba on it. He is actually applying layers to a role that doesn't necessarily or shouldn't necessarily have layers on the face value. He was having a ton of fun with that role. I could tell he was having a blast with it because it came across in his performance. He gave Brixton a level of villain that this movie doesn't necessarily deserve, but was there.
Oh, he definitely expanded upon what we saw of him in the trailer. Because, yes, in the trailer, they really do set him up as just a very basic villain. And there was a lot more complexity to him besides just that. But that's all you got out of the trailer is that he's just doing that. He's just going after her, and then there's a whole lot of punching and kicking. Mm-hmm. But there was a lot more actual development in his character, and he was perfect for that role.
Yeah, the backstory, his like full involvement and everything. He just really chewed that scenery well. Mm-hmm. He came in and he just basically he's a tour de force of an actor for this movie. Is what I'm getting at. He was just really good as the villain. I actually really enjoyed him and what he did there. But I mean, as far as like the movie as a whole, the action sequences were way over the top. Completely ridiculous.
But also, you could tell they were doing that whole like fast-paced editing. Mm-hmm. It was back to the idea of we need to hide some of these punches and kicks. So it was kind of hard to see who was throwing a punch at where and how at some points.
Yeah.
So it definitely has that fast-paced editing, fighting, unfortunately.
Yeah, but I mean, that being said, like the big set pieces, the big action sequences, anything involving a vehicle was crazy and over the top. You even get those little trademark nods from the Fast and Furious franchise in one scene. So I mean, it still is connected to that universe just based on like some of the things that they do with some of those big action sequences. And then like the one other thing that like it just really took us out, and it's not really a spoiler, we can get into it here, is there's a part when they're on the island when they go to the rock. See, I'm doing it too. Dwayne Johnson's what he likes to be known called now. When they go to Samoa and hang out with his family, his brothers and cousins and everybody, the big action sequence starts at night. And there's basically a time thing going on where there's something that's keeping track of time, so you can actually...
There's a countdown.
There's a countdown happening that you can keep track of. And then, basically, in the movie's time, 9 minutes later, it's all of a sudden like noon.
Yeah, so we're watching as this fight that starts at night progresses into daytime, and we're sitting here thinking, like, that countdown that we saw earlier should be over and done with. I mean, it's way beyond what that time was originally set for, because sun's up and it looks like it's noon.
There's no way it moves from like 4 a.m. to 12 noon in the span of 9 minutes.
Yeah. So we go back and see it, and only 9 minutes have passed. That was wild. And that took us out, because we were sitting there for at least the next couple of minutes just laughing.
So, I mean, there is a situation where you have writers that may have written themselves into a corner for that scene, and that's fine. If you can force yourself to look past it and just enjoy the action of what's happening, then you'll be just fine. But if you're like us and you're sitting there like, wait, hold on a minute, that doesn't add up.
Yeah.
It's just a little thing that you might have some fun with.
So, as far as mentioning other YouTube channels on something like this is something I'm actually eagerly awaiting for Honest Trailers and CinemaSins to mention, because it will be in there. There is absolutely no way they're not going to catch that.
Painstakingly obvious that something was off here.
But it's going to be a lot of fun to watch.
But I mean, as far as like as we look at this movie, as far as like the story goes, the action, everything is just ramped up. It is related to Fast and Furious in every sense of the word. It's both fast and furious, but it's got a lot of heart just in Dwayne Johnson and Jason Statham's characters, how they interacted, and how it drove the movie forward. And
there was still a lot of family between the three of the heroes in this.
The three main, and then the fact that they played into it when they went back to Samoa. So,
yeah. And quick mention on that, Cliff Curtis.
I love Cliff Curtis.
Cliff Curtis, when they're at Samoa, he doesn't have a huge role, but like his role does pack a lot of heart.
That's the thing. Like, I love Cliff Curtis as an actor. He is a fantastic. He's always playing supporting roles in almost everything. I don't think I've ever seen him like in a lead role in any movie. He's always playing that supporting role, and he always knocks it out of the park every time. To the point where I actually would love to see him in a lead role at some point, because he's just a really good go-to actor for those things.
Yep.
Yeah. So as far as like rating this movie goes, I mean, it is that popcorn flick. It is a blockbuster. It is big summer fun, dumb fun. It's a entertaining ride. All of those words and phrases that you could use. And so, as one of those, I would give it a 4.
Black Superman.
Can you find that on the internet?
Yeah, it's steel.
Oh yeah, I guess you can. That does exist, huh? Look at that.
Creative.
Comic book nerd.
Yeah.
Anyway, I'll give it 4 out of 5 steel.
Steals. Not the Shaquille O'Neal.
I done forgot that movie existed.
Ooh, we should have all.
For a reason.
Yeah, I mean, there was definitely some parts of this that I do feel like kind of did draw on a little for me, that I could potentially find myself maybe kind of nodding out, just because it's just exposition and action. But it was still a good storyline, and it kind of feels like you actually probably could nod out and like snap a little if you were really tired, wake up and still be within the storyline of the movie.
I couldn't fall asleep whatsoever. There's too much action.
It depends on how long of a day you've had. I would say I'll call this about 3.5 steals. It was good, but it was still lacking just a little bit more that I think could have made this movie as good as a lot of the movies in the actual Fast and Furious franchise have been.
Yeah.
Especially the latest Fast and Furious movies. The past couple of them have been really good. Mm-hmm. So I don't think it hit that level, but it's definitely a lot better than some of the worst ones in Fast and
Tokyo
Furious.
Drift.
Too Fast, Too Furious. I didn't cough real well. Anyways, that's going to do it for this reaction or review. Reaction review to the movie, whatever we want to call it. What did you think of it? Let us know down below. What did you think of Hobbs and Shaw? Especially like all
Fast
like
and Furious presents Hobbs and Shaw.
yeah, whatever. Especially all the little funny bits and nods and stuff that were in there. What did you think of it? Also, let us know down below. If you liked this video, make sure you hit like. If you didn't like this video, and also above our heads, there is a subscribe button. Make sure you check that out and hit it. Also, off to the side are a couple other videos that we have made. And as always,
You can smell my family.
Later.
See ya.
You smell me?
Yeah, I should have told you before this video. You gotta throw on some deodorant, man.